remarkable passer, hitting shooters like Shabazz Muhammad and Jordan Adams, who are both really, really spectacular two guards. You know, Josh Smith also actually played really well. And where was Tony Parker? This guy looks like a talented, talented player, and he really did not see the floor. And truthfully, hopefully, David Ware is okay, because that would be a huge loss for this team. Okay, jumping to USC basketball very quickly, seeing as they're not really a huge deal. I mean, it's not their football team, but their basketball team, they've won their first two games against Long Beach State and the Coppin State Eagles. Not really familiar with that team. But the USC team, you know, they have a tough schedule. This Pac-12 is fairly well rejuvenated. JT Terrell, the junior guard, should be a fairly decent player. Obviously, Gio Fontaine, when they were still good, was one of their best players. But this SC team, not much to look forward to there. Okay, now let's jump over to baseball. And I would like to bring on my two of my top guests for tonight. And that would be Kate Palucha and Corey Rosen, two of my unpaid interns working here at the show. Now, they work so hard at their jobs. They just don't know that much about sports. I really do feel bad for them. But they really want to tell you who the top free agents for each team is going to be. We're in the offseason, folks. All you care about is free agents, free agents, free agents. But you know what? That's all they care about, too. And let's hear it right now. Introduce yourselves. Corey Rosen, how's it going?
Good.
Please speak into the microphone for me.
Good.
Wow, that was a beautiful, lung voice. Okay, Kate Palucha. Now, you are one of Corey Rosen's best friends here on the show tonight for the first time. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing spectacular. This is a great night. Okay, let's just jump back into baseball. I want to know the top free agents for this Angels team that looks so talented on paper, yet they can't do anything. They've struggled so mightily. Now, Corey, I have a big list of free agents here. I want you just to pick one for me. Just scroll down the list and just pick one, and then tell me why this person should be the top free agent for the Angels.
Casey Kochman.
Now, let's just recount what you just said. Casey Kochman, the former first baseman, actually for the Angels, has no power. Is a great defensive first baseman. Just kind of summarizing his stats for them. Well, not stats, but his performance level. He had one fairly decent season for the Angels. Then they shipped him off for Mark Teixeira in a great move that really boosted the Angels into the playoffs that season. Actually, has had some pretty decent seasons in recent years. Hit over 300 a couple years back. Why is Casey Kochman a great fit for the Angels?
Because his last name's cool.
Last name's cool. Well, I'll tell you this. The Angels have 3 first basemen. They are all better than Casey Kochman. They will always be better than Casey Kochman. If we get Casey Kochman back, I may have to stop liking the Angels. Corey, I'm very dissatisfied with that response. Dang it.
Thank you.
Okay, Kate Palucha. I got this list of free agents here. Now, the LA Dodgers last season were one of the bigger conundrums in baseball. They go out and spend all that money, and you know what happens? No playoffs, none. They don't make the playoffs at all. They have so much talent on their roster. Obviously, that huge deal to get Hanley Ramirez and Co. And you know what? I want to know their top free agent. Obviously, I think it's Zach Greinke, but you definitely have a different opinion on this. Now, who out of this list would be their top free agent?
Mike Napoli.
Actually, I wouldn't disagree. I don't think they're going to go out and sign him, but as a catcher, they need a catcher. A.J. Ellis had a great year as a catcher, but you know what? He's 31 years old. I'm just taking a wild guess, but he's not young. That was his first year. I don't see him reproducing those numbers. So basically, Mike Napoli, the former Angels catcher and former, obviously, Texas Ranger catcher, with his big power numbers, could be a great fit for this team. And why is Mike Napoli a great fit for this team, Kate?
I think that he's a good catcher. I've watched him on the Angels, and he's good. So I think he'd be good on any team.
Well, it's safe to say Kate's not going to be a reporter. She cannot speak in their microphones. I'm sorry, people, you cannot hear that. I'm so dissatisfied with the way this show's going right now. My two guests are vastly underperforming right now. But I did like her suggestion of Mike Napoli, and she said he's a good player. And I would agree. Mike Napoli is a good player. Okay. So moving on to the Oakland Athletics. Oakland Athletics last season were basically the biggest surprise in baseball, taking down the Texas Rangers. This is a team with Josh Reddick leading the way with 32 home runs. Yoenis Cespedes had a great year as a rookie, one of the top Rookie of the Year candidates. Jared Parker, with his 3.47 ERA, was one of the main Rookie of the Year candidates as well. And Grant Balfour actually had a fairly decent year, filling in as their closer. Now, personally, I think this team needs a big bat. I'm not going to really tell you who it is yet because I don't know. This is a team that's a complete conundrum because they do not spend money. But if you were Corey Rosen, and she is here right now so she can tell you, who would you take, Corey?
For what team?
The Oakland Athletics.
Jorvit Torialobla.
Well, the correct pronunciation en Espanol, Jorvit Torrealba. But Torrealba would not exactly fill any needs on the A's, seeing as they already have at least some decent catching, and Torrealba is...
I thought you said for the Orlandos.
Repeat that?
I thought you said for the Orlandos.
I am so sorry. I feel so bad. I should just go off air. No, just kidding, because I'm not going off air. Tricked you right there, didn't I? But Jorvit Torrealba is a decent catching option, but like I said, would fill no needs on the Oakland Athletics, who already have decent catching options. Now, the Orlandos are a funny story, because really, there's no team called the Orlandos. There's the Orlando Magic in Orlando, but they're not called the Orlando Orlandos. Now, are they? Okay. Now, we are going to journey across the bay to a mythical place called San Francisco. Now, San Francisco last season was, how do I put it, amazing. This is such a great team. Buster Posey wins the MVP. Everything goes perfectly. They win everything. Okay, now, but they do have needs. Personally, I think this is a team that needs maybe some help, pretty much just to fill some needs. They could use a big bat, but they're not going to spend the money. They already have Buster Posey. But, Kate, who is the perfect fit for the San Francisco Giants team?
Matt Diaz.
Oh, man. Matt Diaz, first off.
Diaz.
And Matt Diaz would feel, actually, not terrible. He wouldn't do anything per se for this team, but he wouldn't kill the team. Not what I would do in that circumstance, but why would you pick Matt Diaz?
Because his name sounds like a cool baseball player's name. That's someone that would be good.
I think they heard someone and good. Total.
Oh, okay.
Please speak up.
He has a very cool baseball name.
Diaz, I would agree, is a cool baseball name. Otherwise known as good, fantabulous, or beautiful. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to go to the San Diego Padres. This is a team that has no hitting. They just re-signed their coach, who I love because he was the former Angels pitching coach. That coach is Bud Black. Now, this is a team that has very little hitting and is losing rapidly losing their pitching. However, they do have Chase Headley, who I endearingly like to call Headley Lamar, after one of my favorite all-time movies, Blazing Saddles. But they do have Chase Headley, and Chase Headley last year was absolutely spectacular with 32 home runs and 115 RBIs. Corey, should they trade Chase Headley?
No,
And why should they not trade Chase Headley?
because he's good.
Because he's good.
And you said he hit a lot of home runs.
You are right on the mark on that one. I do not think they should trade Chase Headley, and here's why. A valuable third baseman in baseball today is hard to come by. This is a team. with a valuable third baseman, you can go places, and that's what I think they can. This team needs to start spending some money. They tried to on Carlos Quinn, didn't exactly work out. And so now, keep it on Headley. Okay, and that's going to wrap up this section. Either of you have any last words?
Hi.
Hello.
They just said hi to me again. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was Kate and Corey,
Thank you.
who sadly might never return after that performance. Now, Corey, you will return, seeing as you do live in the same
this
house.
household.
Yeah, exactly. But Kate, not so much. You're not the reporting type. Now, I am going to take a commercial break, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Hi, and we are here with Robert Dieters right on air right now. It's great to have you, Robert. How's it going?
Going good, Sam. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. This has been a spectacular show. Just to let you just to recap for you viewers out there who love me and adore me and want to send me TVs, please do so. My number is, I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you creepers to send me any TVs. But this show has gone great right now. We talked some sports, Stanford sports more specifically with Stephen Hughes. Then I went into some California college sports details. And then we discussed some free agency with my unpaid interns who really did not do well at all. They are never going to be on air again, hopefully. It was kind of sad. But Robert, I'm here. I want to talk some NBA basketball with you. And like I said, this is a California show. So let's get started. At 5-5, the Lakers are on the upswing. How do you feel about their latest performances with Bernie Bickerstaff on the bench, who, by the way, has the best winning percentage of any Laker coach ever?
I think it's looking good. I think the Lakers, ever since Mike D'Antoni taken flight, I think their team's been a lot better, especially at even 500. And with this team, I noticed, you notice their offense and defense has changed a lot, and it really helped Steve Nash and Dwight Howard, since they're new to this team. And you have to understand that they have to get into, I'm trying to say is, they're going to try and get into, they have to try and place themselves in a good situation for them to play very well. So as Kobe Bryant, Paul Gasol, all of that piece, this team is going to be good when they're in contention. Because, they're only about a game back from the Warriors, and they're 5-5, and the Warriors winning in overtime tonight, 6-5 against Denver, which is really close. I think the Lakers can catch up. But, I noticed the Clippers, an 8-2 record. I see the Lakers and Clippers battling it out at the end.
You mentioned this Clippers team, and a lot of people are claiming them to be the best in the West. I don't really think so. Personally, I think the Lakers are the best in the West right now. You look at all the things they have going for them, and it's really, really just so good for this team. I don't know. They have Kobe, Dwight, all the people, you name it. But the one thing that is a glaring issue for me is their point guard situation. And if Steve Nash does not come back at full strength, do you think this team's going to struggle?
It is going to struggle. I mean, a point guard is one of your head guys. He pretty much controls the floor. He starts out with the ball. He's the one that's going to pass, the one that makes the shots. Steve Nash I know he's always been in this league for so long, and I'm going to agree with you, Sam. This guy seriously needs to get back on track and full strength, and I don't think, without a point guard, I don't think this team will do very well, because this is an old team. You're looking at an old team. Paul Gasol, Dwight Howard, your down lows have been there for so many years, as well as you see Ron Artest, Kobe Bryant. These guys have been in the league forever. These guys are old, and you need to have them at all full strength to win games.
Yeah, it could be a very interesting season. Now, Chris Duhon has actually looked fairly decent now that they're giving him some decent playing time. But this Lakers team should be very, very strong down the line. However, the other team in LA, in the same arena as the Lakers, the LA Clippers, they're also looking very strong. Robert, who do you think is better right now and why?
It's a good question, and right right now, I would say the Clippers. They've been on a roll. They